All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is Thursday, November 8th, 2018. It is your commissioner coming to you live from beautiful East Longmeadow, Massachusetts, and this is your Week 9 recap, your Week 10 preview. We'll get into some trade deadline talk, some playoff projections, tiebreakers, that kind of business. And yeah, so let's get right into it. We got a big show today. We'll start off, as we always do, with our previous week recap. And this week we'll start it off with Cole putting up 170 points against your Commissioner's 146. Cole had huge days from Jared Goff, no surprise. Christian McCaffrey, no surprise. Julio Jones finally gets in the end zone. Dion Lewis had 20 points on, was that Monday night? So, nice day there from him. Led all scorers this week. Over on the other side, I think we all kind of knew that I was going to lose this one. I had no quarterbacks until like Sunday morning. I ended up playing about a half a quarterback in Nathan Peterman and then Lamar Jackson, obviously. I finished with 146. Nice days from James White and James Conner. Nice 1-2 punch there from my running backs. Decent day from DeAndre Hopkins. Nobody else really did anything at all for me. Moving on now to TJ losing to Ryan's 169. TJ finished with 115. Kind of a disappointing one here for TJ. He didn't have Andrew Luck playing. He only had one quarterback go. So it was kind of a mess for him, but I think we all expected a little more from our 1-2 matchup. Ryan really put it away though, thanks to Kareem Hunt's 32, Brandon Cook's 23, and Alvin Kamara's 31. Those are really his guys, have been all year. Over on TJ's side, like I said, Andrew Luck was on a bye, so he only played one quarterback in Mitchell Trubisky. He only put up 8 points. His leading scorer was actually the Bears defense, who put up 26 on the Bills, and George Kittle had 21 at tight end. So not a great day from TJ, pretty typical day from Ryan. Moving on now to Jensen's 168 to Sokol's 160. Jensen had a real nice day from Patrick Mahomes. Again, had 35 points. The Duke got him 25, and Travis Kelce also got him 25. So a nice little double dip there from those guys. Over on Sokol's side, Russell got him 21, Matt Ryan got him 39, Tevin Coleman got him 30, Josh Gordon got him 24. Looks like nobody else really scored in double digits. So a couple huge players and a couple nobodies really cost Sokol the loss on this one. Moving along now to Jack's 140, taking down Walter's 86. Walter's team just stinks. But over on Jack's side, Drew Brees got him 42 points, Alex Smith got him 21, Keenan Allen got him 21, and Jimmy Graham got him 13. Nobody else scored in double digits. So Jack's really lucky that he, A, was playing Walter, and B, that Drew Brees put up 42 points, so this one might have turned out a lot differently for him. Still thinks he's going to run the table though somehow. Over on Walt's side, nice day from my boy AR12, got him 21 points. Cooper Kupp got him 17. Walter also played a tight end and a defense that were both on a bye. Like, it's understandable when quarterbacks are on a bye and you play them, maybe even like a running back or wide receiver, somebody that's in high demand. But there are plenty of tight ends and defenses on the wire. But for whatever reason, Walt just couldn't part with any of his players on this one. So he had to play the Eagles defense and CJ Uzoma on a bye. Moving on now to Reynolds 139, defeating Coyle's 130. Reynolds had a nice day from his quarterbacks, Cam Newton, Marcus Mariota. They got him about 25 and 26 apiece. Melvin Gordon got him 21. And then his high score was Michael Thomas with 36 points. Nobody else in double digits. So, again, lucky that he was playing Coyle, who he snuck by in this one, was able to pull out the win. On Coyle's side, Tom Brady got him 17. Deshaun Watson got him 24. Derrick Henry got 10. Amari Cooper 14 in his debut with the Cowboys. And O.J. Howard got him 19. Nobody else in double digits. That's going to show you why Coyle finished with 130. Finally, in our last game, our lowest scoring game of the week, again, Patrick just finds a way to win. This time he beats McAllen, 116 to 76. He had nice days from Big Ben, got him 29. Ryan Fitzmagic got him 30. Nick Chubb got him 15. Nobody else in double digits for Pat, except for his kicker, Will Lutz. That's a keeper kicker for Patrick right there. Over on Dan's side, your boy Nick Mullins got him 26. AB got him 12. Nobody else in double digits. The Rams D actually lost 4.5 points against the Saints. So Dan finished with probably his lowest score of the year at 76 points. So ugly. All right, that is your Week 9 recap. Let's move on now to everybody's favorite segment of the week. It is your Week 9 Power Rankings. Top 3 haven't changed in 2 weeks. We got Ryan, TJ, and Cole. We got Jensen and myself swapping spots because I lost and he won. But really, Cole, Jensen, and myself, or aka the Ashley Adams division, aka the Nut Extractor 9000 division, are really all kind of in it together. We play each other a couple more times each this season. So we'll probably all kind of move around a lot as the season progresses until the season ends. But expect us to be in that 3, 4, 5 range. At 6, we have Patrick moving up a spot with another big win. We have Reynolds moving down 1 spot to number 7. We have Sokol moving up to the 8th spot now. Keep in mind, this is power rankings on actual tiebreakers and ranks. We'll get to that in a second. But Sokol moves up to 8. McCallan up at 9. Coyle up at 10. Jack up at 11. And Walter going to drop 4 spots in the last 2 weeks to number 12. His team stinks. That whole division stinks of Coyle, Jack, and Walter. Just pitiful. All right, let's move on now to our Week 9 superlatives. First up, we got Johnny Sokol with a double dip of the week.
Double dipped? What are you talking about?
You dipped the chip, you took a bite, and you dipped again.
His quarterback, Matt Ryan, and his running back, actually, Tevin Coleman, had a pretty nice day together. Ryan had 350 yards and 4 touchdowns passing. Running back Tevin Coleman caught 5 balls for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns. The two of them combined for about 69.1 points. Nice. Our worst of the week.
The worst! She's the worst in the world.
Is going to go to Dan's defense. That's the Rams defense. They lost 4.5 points. They lost 4.5 points for Danny's team. They gave up 45 points to the Saints on Sunday afternoon, and that one's going to cost you every single time. So good looks there, Dan, playing the Rams defense against one of the high-powered offenses in the league. And finally, our MVP this week.
Only me get pizza every game. MVP, valuable pizza eat.
Is going to go to Jack's Drew Brees. Drew Brees, let's see, finished with 346 yards and 4 touchdowns passing. Also had 16 yards on the ground. So a really nice day there from him. Kind of affected Dan's worst of the week there, but that's how it goes. So nice job there, Drew. If Jack was smart, he would sell as high as possible on Drew Brees and get as many draft picks as he can because he's not going to make the playoffs. But he's not smart, so he'll go down with the ship. All right. Let's move on now to our playoff system here. So there was some discussion this week in the chat about it. As we've done the last couple of years, our playoffs are basically defined as the top 8 teams in the league no matter what. Divisions don't mean shit. The only reason we have divisions is because you have to play 2 teams twice, so it just breaks it up evenly to have 4 divisions of 3 teams. Everybody plays the 2 teams in their division 2 times. And I just like to name the division after porn stars. But for the playoffs, they really mean nothing. So the bracket that's on ESPN right now assumes that the 4 winners of each division are going to be the 1 through 4 ranks. That's not how we fuck. So the way that it works really is we take our 1 through 8 in terms of record. Any ties first go to head-to-head tiebreakers. If you split on the season with a team, then it goes to total points 4. So let's first look at our tiebreaker matrix here. Now, I sent this out in the chat as well. I'll post it here in the league so you can take a look at it. How it works. Excuse me. Find your team listed on the left. As you go right, anybody with a green 1 or 2 in some cases, if that happens, means that you have the tiebreaker over them. Anybody with a red -1 means you lose the tiebreaker to that team. Anybody with a 0 either means that you haven't played them yet, you split with them evenly, or it's just yourself. So Jack is here first, obviously, because it's a matrix, so he's going to have zeros because he doesn't have the tiebreaker over himself. But using Jack as the example, he owns the tiebreaker over Sokol. He loses it to Coyle. He splits it right now with McCallum. He has it over, he loses it to me. He has it over Jensen. He loses to Patrick. Is split right now with TJ. Loses it to Reynolds. Loses it to Ryan. Loses it to Cole. And has it over Walter. You'll see here on the far right, tiebreaker record is how many teams you have it over 3, how many you have it under 6, and then how many you're splitting on 3. That 3 in the end includes yourself. If you have any questions on that, figure it out for yourself. Now, with that in mind, there are currently, how many here? 4 teams that are 5 and 4, and there are 5 teams that are 3 and 6. So when we look at our current bracket standings, it's going to take those tiebreakers into account. So Ryan is obviously the 1 rank, TJ is obviously the 2. Out of all the 5 and 4 teams, Patrick Troy actually wins the tiebreaker. He's defeated both Jensen and Cole. Him and myself haven't played yet, so he's 2-0 against teams that he's tied with. He moves up into the 3 spot. The remaining 3 teams that are 5 and 4, myself, Jensen, and Cole, all have kind of mixed and jumbled records. We play each other a couple more times the rest of the season. I play Cole. I know I play Jensen twice. They play another time as well. So that's going to move around a lot. Right now we're 4, 5, and 6. In what order? Yet to be determined. The 7th team is going to be Reynolds, being that he's the only 4 and 5 team in the league. And then finally, 8th is going to go to the winner of the 3 and 6 team tiebreaker. There's 5 teams that are there. That's Jack, Sokol, McCallum, Connor, and Walter. Of those teams, Connor is has the best record. He's 2-0 against the other teams. He's defeated Jack. He's defeated Dan. He's yet to play Sokol and Walter, he's yet to play Sokol and Walter. Therefore, he is the first place team. He gets the 8th ranked seed. Jack, Sokol, Dan, and Walter all have kind of jumbled records against each other. They all play again a couple times this season. So again, those are going to move around. Coyle's probably going to move around within them. And really, whoever comes out on top of those 5 teams will get that last spot in the league, in the league playoffs. The rest of the teams will be in the losers bracket, playing for our punishment, as well as the 40% chance of the number 1 pick in the lottery. With all that being said, let's take a look at our projected rankings and playoff odds, courtesy of Fantasy Pros. No surprise here, Ryan and TJ have already clinched. They have 100% chances of making the playoffs. Projected record for Ryan is 11-2 and TJ 9-4. Your commissioner, Gents, Cole, then come in at 3-4-5. We all have the same records, same playoff odds, so we're really all just kind of intertwined. Depends on what happens to us the next 4 weeks. Then we have Reynolds coming in, finishing the season at 6-7. He's got a 92% chance of making the playoffs. Patrick coming in at 6-7 as well, with a 90% shot of making the playoffs. And finally, they have Coyle listed as 5-8 team with a 48% chance of making the playoffs. Now, the other 5-8 team that comes in at 9 is McCallum. If we look at McCallum so far, he's losing that tiebreaker because he lost to Connor already. Now, if that ends up being the case, and those are the only 2 teams tied at 5-8, then Connor wins it. Danny moves into the 9th spot and just misses the playoffs narrowly. Finally, then we have Sokol, Jack, and Walter coming in at 4-9 with a 22, 20, and 6% chance of making the playoffs, respectively. All right. Projected ranks, brackets, tiebreakers, went through all that, cross them off. Excellent job, your commish. Let's move on now to our recent transaction. As you know, today is the trade deadline, happens at noon. So far, there's been 2 big trades, both involving Sokol. First one made was straight up Matt Ryan for Deshaun Watson with Coyle. I guess Deshaun Watson's a good keeper. Don't really know the rest of it. There's no trades, there's no picks attached to it or anything like that. So really a Coyle-Sokol decision. The other big one was between Sokol and your commissioner. Sokol released Russell Wilson, Dalvin Cook, and Latavius Murray. I, in exchange, gave up Jordan Howard, Randall Cobb, and Lamar Jackson. So Sokol really going for the keepers there. All 3 of those guys have good keeper value. with Howard and Lamar Jackson being the big ones, obviously. Will I get a quarterback, finally a second quarterback for this season, as well as whichever Vikings running back happens to be healthy that week. Pretty good trade, I think, balance for both sides. Works out for this year for me, next year for Sokol, so on and so forth. Let's take... All right, breaking news here, folks. Big trade happening just about 20 minutes prior to the deadline. TJ and Jack making a deal. We saw they were pushing for the vote on moving up trade rounds. That came from TJ trying to swindle Jack into trading him a third-round pick in exchange for AJ Green, or vice versa, whatever. We nixed that, obviously. Can't be making changes like that mid-season. But they have agreed to terms on a trade. TJ gets AJ Green like he wanted. Over on Jack's side, Jack gets Dez Bryant, who is keeper eligible, by the way, in the 17th round. Nice pickup there. TJ just spent $35 on him on free agent auctions. On top of that, Jack gets 2 fifth-round picks. That is a 2019 and a 2020 fifth-round pick from TJ. So both of those picks going to Jack. TJ then will get Jack's last available pick in 2019 and his last available pick in 2020. So breaking news here. We'll keep you up to date in the next 15 minutes or so if anybody else makes any pick trades, any trades at all really before the deadline. But wanted to keep you abreast of the situation. We now return to our regular recap preview video. You look at our free agent auctions this week. I'll start from the bottom because it's kind of funnier that way. Cole bid $0 on the Bills and got him. Gents bid $0 on Adam Vinatieri. He got him. TJ bid $0 on Royce Freeman. He did not get him. We'll get to him in a sec. Cole also put in a $5 bid on Adam Humphries, the Tampa Bay wide receiver. He got him. TJ, just before the news broke on Dez Bryant signing with the Saints, he put in a bid for $35. He got him. So basically, TJ, you wasted $35 because nobody else bid on him. Finally, the big one. Jensen puts in a $70 bid. That's 7-0, folks, for Royce Freeman. When the only other bid for Royce Freeman was a $0 bid by TJ. Jensen, you wasted $69. Attaboy. Not really sure why you did it, but you did it, so we'll move on. All right. I guess we're officially going to move on to our Week 10 preview now. We've gone through Week 9. We've gone through all of the kind of transactions and playoff details for this upcoming season. So just a quick look around the league at the injuries and news and notes. AJ Green, I don't know if he broke his foot or what his deal is. He's week to week. Not going to play for probably about 2 weeks. Doesn't need surgery, so we'll see what happens with him. Chris Carson's week to week with a groin strain. Leonard Fournette is supposed to be back this week or next week. He's week to week. Gronk week to week, questionable play this week. Sonny Michel week to week, questionable this week with his knee injury. Ryan Tannehill again not playing this week. Sam Darnold not playing this week. He was in a boot, so you're going to have McCown time there. Stephon Diggs did not practice yet this week. Deontay Foreman still did not return, but he's been activated from the PUP list, so they got, what is it, like 10 days to activate him or some shit like that. Did I miss anybody? Yeah, Royce Freeman, who Jensen just put in a $70 bid for, not only has a bye this week, but he also has a high ankle sprain, so attaboy Gents. Chris Thompson stinks, doesn't matter. Darren Sproles doesn't matter. Sammy Watkins has a foot injury. He's day-to-day, but probable to play. Geronimo Allison, he is officially on IR for the rest of the season. If they make the playoffs, he could potentially return for that. All right, I think that's it. Okay. Let's take a look now at our Week 10 projections in terms of points. Again, these power rankings are in terms of Week 10 only, how you're going to score, teams that are on buys, injuries, etc. No surprise here, Ryan's at the top. Then we got Reynolds coming in second. Coyle somehow in third, Cole 4. TJ's 5, Patrick 6, your commission 7, Jack 8, Daniel 9, Jens 10, Walter 11, and Johnny now at 12 because he doesn't have quarterbacks left. So there's that. And now let's jump right into our game-by-game breakdowns that really point out all those things. So first up, in our biggest spread of the week, we have Ryan 180 as right now listed as a 78-point favorite to Johnny. But like I said, Johnny's got to figure out his quarterback situation as well as get somebody to replace his Texans on defense. Either way, this one is Ryan's game no matter what. If John wins this one, I'll cut off a pinky. Next up, we got Coils 146 to Walter's 96. Walter's projected under 100 points because he's still got 2 new players on bye this week. Let's see if he actually puts somebody in for them or just decides to ride it out with Thielen on a bye. Coyle should win this one pretty handily though, so no worries there. Big implications though for Coyle. If he's trying to get to that 8th spot, he needs this win, and I think he should have it handily. Then we got myself, your commissioner, as about a 9-point favorite, taking on Jensen now. Jensen was all high and mighty at the beginning of the week because he was a high-point favorite. Then he realized that I didn't have any quarterbacks yet. Once I got my quarterbacks, should be no problem for your commissioner. He's got a quarterback on a bye, and it looks like nobody to replace him. So, sucks for you, gents. Moving on now to TJ and Cole. Cole is a 7.5-point favorite in this one. TJ looks like he's got the quarterbacks. Cole's got the rest of the slots locked down, is what they're telling me here. I think that's probably about accurate. TJ's had some luck in this season so far. I think it's probably going to run out right at the right time for the rest of us, so I think Cole locks this one down. Then we have McCallan, who's a 6-point underdog, taking on Jack. This one's going to be a pretty good matchup. It means a lot. It doesn't seem like it, I know. It does mean a lot, though, for that 8th seed. Jack is convinced that he's going to run the table somehow. He probably doesn't need to. Probably only needs 3 or 4 wins, but he thinks he's going to run the table still. McCallan, really, and we were just talking about it, is all going to come down to your boy Nick Mullins on Monday Night Football against Danny's Giants. Really, it would be kind of poetic almost if the Giants defense doesn't show up all year and they show up against this fucking quarterback who Dan picked up last week, who he needs to succeed on Monday Night Football in order to have a shot at the playoffs. Really just sad stuff if the Giants put Danny in the ground this way, but I wouldn't be surprised. Finally, in what looks like it's going to be our closest matchup of the week, it's a matchup of the Saints, boys. We got Patrick as a 4-point favorite taking on Reynolds, 159 to 155. This one looks like it could be pretty good. I think both of these guys are in the playoffs regardless, if I had to be honest, but this one could mean a lot for seedings. Basically, who's going to get that 6, 7, 8 seed? I think I like Patrick's team in this one. If Fitzmagic shows up to play and puts up big numbers like Fitz can, Pat's got a legit shot because his running backs are good. If Gronk plays, he's got an even better shot. So I like Patrick in this one. Reynolds would then drop to 4 and 6, and he'd have to start getting worried that he's only a game and a half, or whatever it might be, over some of these teams that are 3 and 6 and chomping at his heels. But we'll see. All right. Went through last week. Went through all the playoff scenarios. After this week, I'll start getting into what happens if who beats who and who needs to beat who to get in and all that shit. I'll figure that out after once we only have 3 games left. It's a little easier at that point. We went over all the trades possible. If any trades break before this video, after this video gets posted, I should say, I'll jump in. I'll post another one quickly. I don't see a ton happening in the next hour and 20 minutes, but you never know. If they do, though, you'll get it here first. We went through all the injuries, the pickups. We went through the Week 10 stuff. I think we're good to go. I think I went over it all. That's all for now. Peace.